Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott, I'm the Emperor of Stomaria, and today I'm very pleased to announce that we have our first Stomarian stater coins. Now, if you're wondering why I'm speaking in quite a hushed voice, it's because I'm on baby duty today and she's currently taking a nap in the next room, and the last thing I want to do is wake her up and ruin the free time that I have to myself. So you'll just have to put up with a slightly hushed tone for this video. So today we have officially received our Stomarian stater coins. They are 999 fine silver, they weigh 5 grams, and they feature the star of Stomaria, the name of Stomaria, the weight and the purity of the metal, and also on the reverse it does have the symbol and the name Kingdom of Wayward to honour the first territory as an associated state within Stomaria that we acquired. So that is our first stater coin, and what we're going to be doing with these is we're going to be trialing them as a form of sound money within Stomaria. And so all of the associated states, all the protectorates, all the provinces, all the observer states, they will be allowed to use these stater coins in order to trade with one another. And I have sort of mentioned and touched on these sorts of topics and issues before, but for the purpose of this video I will go over it again. So the idea behind Stomaria in large part is to reduce reliance on and contributions to the Micronation that we're a part of. So in this case the United Kingdom or the UK government. And we are trying to build relationships with micronations that share that goal, that share that vision of trying to build a real world community, that vision of trying to build in a trade network between various micronations, both in the British Isles and elsewhere in the world. And the Stomarian stater coin is the key to all this, I feel, in the sense that we don't want to use macronational fiat currency, the pound, the euro, the dollar, or whatever else, because that is still relying on the Micronation that we're a part of. It's using their currency system. Going down the route of micronational fiat currency, i.e., bits of paper that someone's printed off at home and then said that this has value. It doesn't have value, it's worthless, I will never trade my goods or services for worthless paper that's been printed out at home, or some, even if it was made by a company and it's made of the finest, paper, at the end of the day, it is still just worthless paper to me. So what Stomaria has done, it's created a money, something that has intrinsic worth, where the value of the money is derived from the commodity itself. That's why when we talk about sound money, it's also often called commodity money, because it is the commodity that has the value. In this case, it's silver. And you go anywhere in the world and silver will have value. And so that is the difference between a micronational currency, which that Micronation just says it has value, even though it's not backed up by anything, even though that the currency itself is absolutely worthless. But with things like silver and gold, that's different, because that is universally, it has a universal approval, a universal value worldwide. And so we have minted our coins out of 999 fine silver. Eventually we will have gold coins, but that's a topic for another time. Right now we are focused primarily on silver, simply because it's more tradable, exchangeable. One gram of gold will, the spot price is around, I think it's about 42, 43 pounds at the moment for 1 gram. These are 5 gram coins, and they have a spot value of about £2.50, £2.60, around that sort of value at the moment. So 1 gram of silver is worth about somewhere between 50 and 60 pence at the moment. And so they're far more easy to use in the exchange of goods and services on a micronational level. Now, the name Stater is actually something that we've taken from ancient Lydia some 2,500 years ago, because they are widely considered to be the first society, the first civilization to create a coin, like a silver or gold coin. And by default, the first version of money, like genuine money in the world. And to pay homage to this Stater coin in ancient Lydia, which is based in modern-day Turkey, like Anatolia, we have also decided to call our version of money Staters. And so the Stater coin itself is, we use the metric system because it is just infinitely easier. That in the precious metal community, the typical way to measure rounds or coins in terms of their weight is ounces, and I dislike ounces intensely because it plays on my OCD. I think because a lot of people don't know this, but 1 ounce is not the same as 1 ounce of gold or silver, because gold and silver is measured in what they call troy ounces, which is slightly more than an ounce. I think it's, if memory serves, 31.1 or 31.2 grams. I mean, that's such a weird number to have. There is a reason for it. I remember researching this. There is a reason for that, but those reasons just aren't justifiable to me. So we measure it in grams. So we have 1 gram, 5 gram, 10 gram, 50 gram, 100 gram. Just the simpler method in terms of trying to figure out the value of things, rather than working out, an ounce, a 1/10 ounce, a 1/4 ounce, and how many grams is in a 1/4 ounce, and how many grams is in a 1/2 ounce or whatever else, and then try to figure that out. It's just infinitely easier to do in terms of using the metric system, using grams instead. And so 1 gram of silver or 1 gram of gold is the equivalent of 1 stater. So 1 gram is 1 stater. And this is where a little bit of confusion might jump in, because 1 gram of gold is 1 stater, but it is a gold stater. So we'll have gold staters and silver staters, and they're not going to be fixed values to one another. Each of them are going to be valued independently based on market forces. There's no fixed ratio between the two. So there is a slight complication there, but it's infinitely better to have that than to try and fix the ratio between gold and silver, like some Micronations have done in the past and have failed miserably, because the price of gold and silver, it fluctuates like any other commodity. And if you're trying to fix the price of 2 different forms of money, or the same money but 2 different metals in that money, it just creates an infinite amount of issues, to the point where sometimes, a silver coin will be worth more melted down and then sold as scrap metal than the actual value of the coin itself in the marketplace, if that makes sense. But getting a bit off topic at the moment. So back to the stater coin. So the intention is to eventually mint more of these coins. Currently we have minted 100 staters, and these are 5 gram status, so they are 5 stater coins. And the idea will be to produce more 5 stater coins, but also 10 stater coins, and 50 and 100, depends on how popular this becomes, depends on how quickly it develops. This is like the trial period. So we have 100 staters at the moment, so 500 grams or half a kilo of silver in the form of silver stater coins. And I am hoping that we will be using these as a form of money within the Kingdom of Wayward very, very soon. In fact, I am hoping that as soon as tomorrow, when I go down to visit them to discuss other matters, it just so happens that the stater coins have arrived the day before, so you never know, there might be a video about our first trade deal using the Stomarian stater the day after we've received it. So that would be very encouraging if that is something that we can do. Now, in order to help cover the production costs of the Stomarian staters that we have produced already, we will be selling many of them to the general public, to people who are interested in micronational money or micronational merchandise, and they will be available on our online market, on our store, which is our eBay account, which is in the link of which is in the description below. But a sizable proportion of them will just be used as a way to trade and engage in commerce with other micronations, particularly ones like I said earlier within Stomaria, because that is, they are Stomarian stater coins. But the day that there will be micronations outside of Stomaria using the Stomarian stater to engage in commerce, to trade with one another without our knowledge, without our input, that is the day that I know that we have succeeded in creating a successful monetary system. And it's very exciting for me because, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time that a micronation has established a monetary system based on the use of sound money like gold and silver for the purpose of trading with other micronations in order to reduce reliance on and contributions to the macronations that we're a part of. And that this is something that not even macronations do anymore. They don't use silver or gold or commodity money at all. They use fiat currency. It's fiat currency that we all collectively agree has value because no one has told us otherwise, but it's very little different from micronational fiat currency. And this is what I've always strived to educate people about. The money that is created for macronations is just created out of thin air. It doesn't have any worth or value. It only has value because the government says so. And the same is true for micronational money, micronational currency, sorry, in that it only has value to the micronation because they say it does. But if everyone else says, no, it doesn't, then it doesn't. And the same is going to be true of macronational currency as well. As soon as people go, well, this is worthless, then it'll go the same way as every other currency in history, which is it will go to zero. And it's happening today. I mean, you only have to look at Zimbabwe or Venezuela or Argentina or Iran or wherever else, inflation or hyperinflation is decimating people's supposed wealth because they held it in that currency. The people who will survive the storms to come will be the people who have sound money in their back pockets, things like gold and silver. So, that's, again, a part of the reason that we have established this monetary system. Part of the reason that we are engaging in this sort of activity is to help educate people about money, is to help, I suppose, open their eyes, to make them think more critically about the world around them. Because without a sound monetary system, without a stable and sustainable monetary system in place, everything else is secondary. Because it doesn't matter how much, culture in terms of art or the pursuit of human rights or environmentalism or green energy or building some sort of agrarian or manufacturing industry, it's all for nothing if the currency that you use just completely vanishes in value overnight because it didn't have any value to begin with. But if you have sound money, something that has value, something that will have value for forever, effectively, I mean, case in point, the Stomarian stater is named after the stater coin, the gold and silver staters used in ancient Lydia 2,500 years ago. Now, that is longevity. And if you want that kind of longevity, you can't use the pound, the euro, the dollar. You can't use micronational fiat currency. You need to use something that is tried and tested to have worth, to have value, to have intrinsic value. And you know, I go on about these things so often because it drives me insane when I see people who just don't understand, who just don't get it. But anyway, I'm getting off tangent. This is a celebratory day with the Stomarian stater. And yeah, so if you want to play a part in using the Stomarian stater, if you want to become a part of our empire of commerce, our empire of trade, our empire of enterprise, then you can become a protectorate or an associated state or an observer state, depending on various other factors, mainly whether or not you have land. If you don't have land but you want to play a part in this trading network, become an observer state. If you have land and you want to join Stomaria, you can become an associated state. Or if you don't have land, but there is land near you that you think that we might be interested in purchasing and allowing you to govern, you can become a protectorate. There are ways in which you can become involved in Stomaria, and we have the ability, a limited ability to cater for everyone's needs in that respect, in terms of joining the Empire of Stomaria, in terms of building a real-world community and a real-world trading network, with the Stomarian stater, with Stomaria itself acting as a conduit between other micronations in order to make this happen. And so if you are interested in getting involved, just let me know. But if you want to become a private Stomarian citizen, then the way to do that is to join us through Patreon, the link of which I shall leave in the description below as always. But otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.